column chart. So over here I've got 12-month data for company A. It's showing the company A sales and profit over 2016. So I've got the total sales over here. I've got the profit. Now company A has two products, product AB and product BC, and this is the profit from both of these products. If you sum up this is 5984, which is equal to the total profit over here. I've got this 12-month data over here and I want to plot a column chart which will have total sales and profits across months. So I'll go to insert and I'll click on the column chart over here. But just to call it out, in different Excel versions, in the older versions at least, it will be shown, this area would be shown differently, but the underlying structure remains the same. So you'll have the column charts over there, you'll have line charts, you'll have pie, static charts, scatter plots, etc. So let's go to insert column or bar chart. So right now I want to insert a clustered column chart. As you can see in the description, it's mentioned that use this chart type to compare values across a few categories, or use it when the order of categories is not important. So let's click on it. And as you can see that when you selected this data and went to insert a chart, Excel automatically plotted those data points over here. So let's just zoom in a bit so that it's more clearer to you. So I've got the legend over here. Using these buttons over here, this says that I can add or remove or change chart elements such as the title, legend, grid lines, and data labels. So let's click on it. And for legends, I'll click on it. I want the legend and I'll click on this black arrow and I'll click on top. So now the legend has shifted to top. For the chart title, I'll have company A sales and profit 2016. So over here you can see that total sales are represented by the blue bar, whereas my profit is represented by the orange bar. I can now add the axis titles also. So I'll click on the chart. I'll click on plus axis title, primary horizontal and primary vertical. So it has added both of them. If I untick this, then this will remove the primary vertical axis title. Let's click on it and now we can edit. So this is months and this is sales slash profit in dollars. Now how to read this chart? What you can see is that the sales over here, they are plotted over here. So if I go to January 16, it shows me that the sales of January 16 were $17,952, which is somewhere between 15,000 and 20,000 over here. Similarly, the profit for January 2016 is just over 5,000. Take a moment over here, and if you want to pause the video for a minute, please do, and try to see a pattern over here. Note it down, and then once you unpause it and play the video again, then we can discuss this. So as you may have noticed that the sales are going up every quarter, and as soon as a new quarter begins, the sales drop down again and then they sort of start picking up again, then they drop down again. So that has been the trend throughout the year. Similarly, if you look at the profit also, the profit is also following the same pattern. So every quarter end, it's the highest. And overall, if you look at the entire year, the sales have been increasing at the end of the year. If we compare it from the start of the year, or if we compare the quarter ends also, in the last month, December 16, the sales were the highest and so was the profit. So this graph clearly shows that there's a really close correlation or relationship between the sales and profit, which in real life is the case. Let's zoom out a bit. Now, One important thing which I would want to point out over here is that right now when you selected this entire data which you wanted to plot, and when you went to insert chart, this got populated automatically. But there is another way by which you can plot data in a chart. So let's say I just select a blank chart, and now I'll do a right click. I'll click on select data. So my chart data range would be, and I click on OK. Now Excel has automatically put the months in the horizontal axis, as you can see over here, and it has put sales and profit in the vertical axis. I can automatically switch all the values from here to there, but this won't make sense. Similarly, right now it is fetching the correct data, so I don't need to make any edits or anything. So for series name, it is selecting this, and for series value, it is selecting the correct cells. So let's click on OK. If I want to remove total sales, I can just select total sales and click on remove, or similarly, I can add more series to it also. So let's just click on OK. So this is another way by which you can insert charts, or you can insert data in a chart. Now let's come to formatting of this. So whenever you click on the chart, this conceptual tab of design or format appears over here. So in the design toolbar, you've got these different ways by which you can make changes to your chart. So if I use style 8 over here, this is how my chart will appear. But let's just do a control Z, click on the chart again, design. Similarly, I can change colors over here. And as you can see, as you're scrolling through the different colors, the colors and the bars, they are changing. Similarly, you can select more data, or you can switch row or column, something which you can also do by right clicking on the chart and selecting data. And then you get these options from here also. From here, you can change the chart type quickly. And from here, you can move the chart also. But moving the chart can be by just clicking on it and then just dragging it somewhere else. Or you can also do a cut and then paste it somewhere else. Then you can again drag it wherever you want. So now let's talk about the other format. So one thing is around chart styles. So this just tells me the different charts, something which we had in the design option also. Similarly, colors, what we had just seen. And if I want to remove total sales, and if I click on apply, total sales is removed. Now I just got the profit, but let's undo it and click on apply again. Okay, now we'll discuss about the formatting of these horizontal or vertical axis. I've selected the horizontal axis by clicking on it. Now I'll click on format axis. This gives me different options. So Excel has right now automatically taken the minimum date, start date as 1st January 2016, and the maximum as 1st December 2016. Uh, I've got these fill and line options. So if I do a solid fill, then I can color my horizontal axis also. If I do a gradient fill, then also I can color it. But let's just do a no fill. That is usually the case. Let's see what happens when we do a solid line. So a solid line appears over here, which is good. Usually the line is there. It's shown with a black color. Now let's format the vertical axis. So over here right now Excel has taken automatically the minimum value as 0 and the maximum as 40,000. The major units, the difference is 5,000. So you can change these also. If you do a 10,000, and right now you can see that now you've got scale from 0 to 10,000, 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, and then 30 to 40. But let's just do a control Z. So if you click on number right now, Excel has automatically taken it as currency. These are different options which you can explore, but as such, they're just there to beautify your chart. Let's move on to the main chart. Now, this area is called the format plot area, and this entire area is called the format chart area. So if you click on the chart itself, it shows format chart area over here, and if you just click on the inner one, it shows the format plot area. So when you click on the entire format chart area, you've got these different options which you can explore. So most of them are related to fill. If I do a solid fill, you can color the entire chart. Gradient fill, this is all there to beautify the chart. Right now let's select a no fill. If I want a solid line, usually it's automatic, so automatically there is a line outside, this is gray. But if I select a solid line which is black, so as you can see the border of the chart is now black. Let's just do it automatic. Similarly, if you select rounded corners, as you can see that now the corners are rounded. If I do a control Z, you will be able to see the difference. Effects, again all related to how you want to beautify your chart. Let me select top right, and yeah, as you can see this line sort of starts appearing over here, this sort of shaded part which gives it a good feel. Let's look at format plot area. Again, you've got the same options over there. If I do a solid fill, this will get colored. You can change the colors from here. If I do a gradient fill, then it will get changed. Let's select a no fill right now. This is for solid fill, and this is for the border. So as you can see, there's a blue colored border now. Shadows, again very similar to what we just saw. Side, let's just do a blue color. So you can see a blue shaded line appearing now. Let's look at the bars itself. So when I click on any of these data series bars, it says format data series. So right now it's a automatic fill of this color. We saw that using the design bar also over here, we can change the types of colors, but you can do it from here also. So let's say if I want to select a light blue one, let me just do an automatic right now. Similarly, this will again create a shadow. In the first example where we discussed the components, we had discussed about the secondary axis. So over here, I won't be discussing it right now. We'll discuss some other charts and then we'll come back to secondary axis. Another way to format these is by clicking on the bars and then doing a right click, and then you can do format data series. Similarly, you can add labels also. If I do a format data series, I'll have this window again open. So yeah, it's one and the same thing. So let's look at the other charts in column bar. So this one which we discussed was a clustered column, and it's basically used when we've got two or more variables which need to be plotted on a graph. Now I'll delete this and then we look at the second type of column chart, which is the stacked column chart. So when I click on stacked column chart, it shows me use this chart type to compare parts of a whole or show how parts of a whole change over time. So over here, this is not used for comparisons. As you can see, the cluster chart was for comparing values across a few categories or months. This is not usually used for comparing, but it is used mostly for showing the composition or the contribution. So let's select this and then do a right click, select data. Now I've got months over here and I want to show my profit from AB. So I will select my months first, then I'll select control and then I'll select the rest of it. Now I'll click on OK. So as you can see that my months will be plotted in the x-axis and profit from product A, B and product BC will be plotted on the vertical axis. Let me add a legend first. Legend on top. Let me just maximize it a bit. Okay, so over here, I've plotted company A, product A, B, and BC profit. So what this is right now telling me is that the total profit for company A was in the month of January 16 was around 5,000. But what it also tells me is the contribution of these two products in a particular month. As you can see in the first month, product AB was contributing more to the profit as compared to product BC, which is evident from the numbers also over here. So what I would want you to now again do is take a couple of moments, pause this video and think about what sort of trend or information you are getting from this graph. There are some observations over here. One is something which we had discussed in the previous chart also, that the profit increases at the quarter end and then it reduces at the beginning of the next quarter. Then it again increases. Then profit has been increasing ever since. If we look at the quarter ends also, December had the maximum profit. And there is another one that most of the times product AB is contributing more to the profit as compared to product BC. But there is one month, August 16, where product BC is contributing more as compared to product AB, which is the case over here if you look at August 16 numbers. Uh, Now this particular composition or how much contribution which is coming from uh, each of these products will be more clearer when we look at the third type of chart, which is the 100% stacked column. Because in this particular chart, we will be calculating percentages. Over here, it's the actual value. So out of 5,984, we have 3,740 from one and 2,244 from one. But when we look at them in percentages, the maximum percentage can be 100%. Over here, we've got the profit, which is varying from one month to another. So comparing them across months is slightly tricky. Now, let's just change this to a 100% stacked column. So all I need to do is I'll click on this chart. I'll go to insert. I'll click on 100% stacked. This says compare the percentages that each value contributes to a total, or show how the percentage that each value contributes changes over time. So as you can see that product AB is contributing almost 60% every month. But for some reason in the month of August 16, it just contributed around 40%. If you scroll over the charts or the bars also, you can see the actual values. But when you look at the percentage basis, when you've got the entire scale as 100%, this sort of chart comes in real handy. So this is what we have on column charts. Now there are some sort of 3D charts also, but let's just take an example of a 3D chart also. Let's say this is a 3D 100% stacked. So let's say I just click on this chart again and I'll change it to a 3D column, 100% stacked column. So as you can see, it's just the appearance which changes. Otherwise, there is no additional information which you are getting from this particular chart. So it's all about beautifying your charts. If I look at the 3D stacked column, again, the appearance is definitely better as compared to a normal 2D stacked column chart. Now with the column charts discussed, we'll move on to the bar charts. Bar charts, again, I've got the same example over here because bar charts are exactly the same as compared to a column chart. Just that for the bar chart, the horizontal axis is my y axis, my vertical axis. So let's just see how this works. Again, I'll select this. Over here, if I select 2D bar, as you can see now, my salary is getting plotted over here on the horizontal axis and my months are on the vertical axis. So as such, there is not much difference. And because the data remains the same, we'll see the same behavior over here also. Now, which chart to use totally depends upon you. Usually people use column charts, but when there's an increase in the number of categories, people usually go with bar charts. Similar to column charts, you've got clustered bar chart, you've got a stacked bar chart, you've got 100% stacked bar chart. Then you've got the same in the 3D format also.